Hello, my friends. It is I, Cask and Asia Stan. Still, Helmet Stan cannot make it today, so I am his French cousin. I'm not, it's just me being stupid. So the third time I've tried to do this video, lighting issues. You can't beat natural light. Now it's getting the springtime, I can open the door. Right, so, French M26 steel helmet. Again, we always use this word, iconic, but it is a very iconic looking helmet. I'm pleased to have it in my collection. I do have another one which I've videoed before, which is in semi-relic condition. This one's in better nick, if you like. So the French M26 replaced the M15. The difference being the construction. It's merely two parts, the shell and the little crest or comb on the top. 3.5 million were made, and they were issued from 1930 to 1936. Even though it was okayed in 1926, that's why it's called M26. Made from 0.9 manganese steel. The hole at the front, there's two holes where the prongs go through for the insignia. That's a possible weak spot in this helmet. This particular one has an ink stamp. That's how you date these helmets, but it's partially obliterated. I think it says PY. That's all I can find. The liner is later. Now these helmets are atypical of a lot of helmets, I suppose. They've got age to them. They've been probably mucked around with, reissued, possibly repainted. But the liner is a late war one, or right at the end of the war. It's either 545, so May 45, or September 1945. So it's a beige coloured line. I'll show you that in a minute. It should be black if it was an original liner to a World War II era helmet. Now, during the Second World War, the French obviously military used them. The Foreign Legion, Czech Legion, Belgium had their own version. Home front resistance, colonial troops, Vichy French, the militia and the police, which I've got a book there I'm going to show you in a minute. So obviously the resistance as well. Did I say resistance? They used it as well. I'm not used to doing this, trying to seriously and everything, and I haven't got any notes. As you right. So I mean, it could have been that someone else has put the liner in it later on, just because they have a spare liner later. But these weren't made post-war. I don't think. The French adopted the M51 Autan after the war. It says 60 on it, but it's a 57. Now, I'll read out what the bits I've researched today and over the last few months, and then I'll show you the helmet inside wise. So the insignias, you quite often see these up for sale on the likes of eBay with no badge on the front. Now, there's various reasons I've found on the War Relic forums and talking between collectors as well, and these are the reasons why it's been stated that they're not usually there. Either or could be true, lost in the mists of time. But these are the reasons that I've found, that they were taken off because they're easy to come off. Just the prongs come at the back, and they were taken as souvenirs. The other reason was that the Germans wanted the metal they were made of for their war industry. So if it was brass, that sort of makes sense. They were issued without them for police or fire brigade. But then again, I think they would have something on the front, which I will get to in a minute when I show you my book. And also that resistance groups would have no use of wearing a badge on the front. Mine's a repro. I bought this one without one. I've aged it up a little bit, and you'll be able to tell there's a slight difference in colour. That was normal for the helmets, apparently. So this does have like an original khaki brown colour to it, and that's more of a green, like a forest green, I suppose. But apparently that was the situation. Prior to 1937, it was moulded into the helmet, and it was only after that they started putting a removable badge on. During World War I, the M15 helmet was used by, or the Adrian helmet was used by Serbia, Belgium, Russian, Poles, French colonial and Romania. World War II, as I've already stated, was Foreign Legion, Czech Legion, Belgium, Home Front Resistance, Vichy France. Post-war, the police up to 1968, and firemen and colonial troops, because this was something I had a wee bit of chit-chat with people from, and if you look at the liner inside, there, that's the liner. You can pick that up. It should be black if it was correct to the helmet. says 60 on there, but it's not. It's a 57. The liner is a 57 anyway. And I thought that maybe someone's just banged the liner in, but it has got that old writing in there saying 60. It's actually chalked on the inside. You pick that up there. It's chalked on there 60. So what do I think this is? I think it is the ink stamps in there. You won't be able to see it. I put the bootlace in there to stabilise it. I think I probably should. I haven't done anything to this helmet at all. I haven't put any mink oil on anything. I haven't cleaned the metal up. I think I'm going to, because where it's situated in the loft place where it sits, the leather is it looks like it's been on fire. It's sort of coming away a bit. It's leaving little bits all over the little bar top area here. So maybe a bit of mink oil might serve it well. Now the liner is fairly loose in there. So what do I think this is? I'll just put it back on its stand. I think it's a rather nice helmet as well. First off, I think it's a World War II shell, or prior to pre-World War II shell. I think the liner is either it's been reissued during World War II or just after. Well, obviously the liner is a later liner anyway. Possibly the colonial troops, because obviously France still had a big empire. I was chatting to someone a few weeks ago about it, and they said that's probably the most likely thing that's been used as colonial troops immediately after the Second World War. But who knows with helmets this age. The book that I got the other day. Now, very interesting book this. It's so... I mean, the Osprey books for me are really good for a basic, cheap, this was £9, look at the setup that you're interested in. The only complaint I'd have about them is that when you're reading, and I'm not going to flick through this book, as always, I haven't finished it yet, halfway through. You're reading about, say, groups, Mobiles D Reserve, or the reserve groups, and it'll tell you about plate D, so you've got to flick over here. It'd be better if you were reading about these fellas and the illustration was on that page. So as you can see, they're on eBay a lot. You don't see a lot of Vichy French stuff for sale, and that's probably for good reason, because once they knew the game was up, apparently they were still fighting the resistance in August 1944. So you can obviously see there which side their military collectibles things just come up on my feed. I'll be watching that in a minute. You can see which side these people were on, and he is wearing an Adrian helmet there, an M26, with a police badge on the front. And again, he's got one on, this fella here. These guys are Milice, I believe. Number 1, Milice Guard Permanent, this fella here. So that's got a unique symbol on the top, the symbol of the Milice, which apparently were a ruthless bunch of types. Again, he's got one on there as well. It's an interesting book, this. It is quite interesting but complicated. Now, a couple of places I've been to, military surplus places, have been selling a lot of the black ones without badges on the front, or police badges on the front. Not like that, a basic one, probably ones that were used till 1968. You have to wonder, I passed on them, because I thought, oh no, I want a World War II one, French infantry one. I passed on it, but then you have to wonder, these guys in here are wearing black French Adrian helmets. Now, you could sort of buy one for your collection and think, yeah, well, all right then, there's a good chance that that has been used, although they were just a distasteful group. So there's a lot of stuff you collect World War II, used by this guy here, and he is, number 3, a French Guard Permanent. So, yeah, the Milice. So not a very nice bunch of people at all, but it doesn't seem to be a very popular area of collecting. Again, for obvious reasons, and I do sometimes look out for things on there. I've seen lots of these, the little badges, but I'm not sure of the authenticity of them. So that's me today with my French Adrian helmet. My other one is up there in the gods, which stays in Man Cave headquarters. This one takes pride of place in the loft area, and you always want to know, don't you? Oh, I'll have to take a little drink of tea. Sore throat, talking too much. How much did I pay for it? I think it was £50. 50, it wasn't 60. I just got it on eBay off a fella, so I'm quite pleased with that. It's not my 50th helmet. I've got another 3 to do before I get to number 51. So I've got number 51 coming this week. And I have another couple of my eyes on another item, which, dare I say it, it's reproduction. But there is a reason for that. There is a reason for that. But because I can't afford the real one at this moment in time. So, this is Casque in Ercial Stan, signing off and saying Vive la France. And should we play out with it? Oh no, it's gone off. It's gone off YouTube. I'll get done by the BBC anyway. So this is Stan. This is the M26 helmet. And I'll see you.